So far we have covered the 7 wastes or the 7 muda. Let's hear what Mr. Taichi Ono has to say about the overproduction waste, or about the waste in general, and highlighting the overproduction waste. So he says there is no waste in business more terrible than overproduction. And we have highlighted this briefly when we talked about the overproduction, but let's have this thought experiment. So, for example, if you are a car manufacturing facility, and you, in order, for example, for you to avoid the changeover process or changeover time, you will produce in batches, which means you will produce more than what the customer requires from a specific model, hoping that you will cover the time that was consumed in the changeover, and hoping that those cars will be sold to a separate or a different client coming tomorrow or coming in an undefined time. So what will happen? So first you did the overproduction because you overproduced. You produced earlier than necessary or more than necessary. What will happen as a next step? What will happen as a next step? You will have an extra amount of cars that need to be stored somewhere. So you will need the waste, you will create the waste of inventory. And in order to have the extra cars stored in some place, you have to move the cars from point A to your storage locations, which in this case you will have the transportation waste. And the transportation will not happen on its own, so it has to be accompanied by some people, and some people to take care of those cars that are being stored, they count, and so on and so forth. So in this case you will have motion, and you will have also overprocessing, because now you have to create another process that handles or manages this kind of inventory, right? And when you store something, or when you do the overhandling of something, that you're likely to have some mistakes happening. So for example, you can have your cars, you can have for example, some of your cars experience some defects when they are being handled inside the warehouse, for example. So in this case you're creating defects, and so on and so forth. So from this just simple example, we can see that from overproduction we are creating all the other different types of wastes.